Isaiah chapter 58 and verse 1. Cry aloud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgressions, and the house of Jacob their sins.
Copyright disclaimer. This content does not belong to Bible Chronicles or claim this intellectual property. The content provided today has and always will belong to the content owner. Bible Chronicles does not have any affiliation with the owner of this property. As mentioned, Bible Chronicles did not intend to make use of any material for the purpose of harvesting gain. However, Title 17 of United States copyright law states material in use can only be done when it's for theological or general educational purposes, and thus Bible Chronicles believes that this principal material falls under fair use, which honors protection under Section 107 of the same U.S. copyright law.
Cuando miras a otro lado, los fantasmas del pasado no se detendrán hasta verte derrumbado. Peores lo hemos pasado. Andaba a golpes con la tristeza, me aportó riqueza, me otorgó sabiduría, pues se dibujaba en todas mis piezas. Yo con alegría le daba color después. La aguja sigue girando, tiempo parece se burlar de mí. Dijo que sanaría esperando, pero creo que la espina aún sigue ahí. Con los dedos lo voy palpando. Cierro los puños, escapa de aquí. Agonizando, no me espera el tiempo, no voy a esperar por ti.
Nuestras huellas en la orilla se han borrado por la marea. Si esas estrellas ya no brillan, las entiendo pa' que veas. Sea donde sea, bajo la tormenta o dentro de la odisea, donde arañas cubren el cielo de tela, los aviones nadan y los barcos vuelan. Aunque parezca que va bien, no sabes bien si va mal. Besos que pueden doler, ojos que pueden matar. Tengo mi alma en el almacén encerrada, mi corazón está en huelga, mis sentimientos en ámbar. Gente, Calamala dijo que estaría presente. Fallaron como nunca, se fueron para siempre. Millones de razones para vengarme, pero a veces duele más actuar indiferente.
Como no quieren ver ahogados, tenemos branquias y cerrados los bronquios como la mente de un guardia. Yo soy la montaña y vine con la cordillera. Más cojones que tu ganga tiene una madre soltera. Tú cúbrete si suena mi tu. A mí la tengo soldado fumando de su palulu. Y un conjuro de grimorio me lo salva del velorio. Pa' tener pila valorio, se matan vestidos de emporio. Yo no quiero una pistola, estoy soñando que la vida que quería me llega a tiempo. Desde que yo la vi sola, loco ando. Vino a verme cuando el sol se estaba poniendo y se dejó una pluma y se perdió en la bruma. Nunca se despidió de mí, nunca se despidió de mí.
Vivo en un mundo que parece roto y sé que no, porque todo es perfecto y lo debo plasmar. Me fumo un trocolo tras otro y lo veo todo otro color. Me siento libre porque vuelvo a conectar. Mi gente sufre y no lo puedo evitar, más que dándole consejos siempre desde la humildad. Es su camino hacia la fraternidad, solo puedo que enseñarles a respetar.
por dentro la llama, no puedo contener la ras. Churruscao el corazón, el armazón, no puede llegar a pesarme más. Si abro la boca, tu tumba al suelo, me muelo a diario y sobrado de gas. Escupo ristas perfectas, paladas de versos eternos, no mueren jamás. Cuando acabe mi condena, me vi muy solo y perdido. Cada vez más negra la flema, más elegante el problema, pero planté cara a todos mis enemigos. Recuperé las ganas, las fuerzas y el garbo. Dedico requiems a mis diablos, que aquí estoy vivo de milagro. Delicadas flores crecieron entre los cardos. Me dicen vienes más delgado que de costumbre. Será de tanto que he bailado en el alambre, que a tanta pena es mejor no ponerle nombre. Llevamos la música en vena, nuestra sangre.
El autor viene a decirnos con mucha firmeza y gran convencimiento lo mismo que nos decía en el siglo XVIII el barón de Holbach, ¿no? Un filósofo francés de origen alemán. Si nos remontamos al comienzo, entonces hallaremos que la ignorancia y el temor crearon a los dioses. La fantasía, el entusiasmo o el engaño los adornaron o desfiguraron. La debilidad les rinde culto, la credulidad los conserva, la costumbre los respeta y la tiranía los apoya para que la ceguera de los hombres sirva a sus propios intereses.
Testing. I think we're good. I think we're good. All right. And it's been a hot minute. I got sick, family, so I'm about 15% almost done. So I may cough here and there. I don't know if I sound a little like my voice sounds maybe different, but because I've been sick all week. Shibaba, good to have you here, brother. What up, G? What up, Jacob? Good to have you here too, brother. Let me just kind of go through saying what's up to the brothers and sisters here. Thunder Local, good to have you here. Thunder Local. So let's see. It's only got 3 of you guys, I think. You know, that's usually how it starts. It's all good. Anyways, let's begin. I wanted to kind of wait, honestly, till tomorrow, to be quite frank with you, before I did this class, because it was not necessarily unintentional. It was, you know, I already had my notes about these things, but, you know, it's I don't know, man. It's kind of weird. I honestly think this is kind of weird now. Because even if you show them, you know, facts, it's still confusing. And then
then all of a sudden you think that for a moment, just a moment, someone's going to bring some sincere information, you know, referencing books and all sorts of things. And yes, and you're going to find this here in this book and that kind of thing, right? I mean, that's what I thought. Give me a second. Let me save this. So anyways, you know, I would assume someday it might actually happen, you know, because all I see everywhere is just a bunch of BS, quite frankly. Videos, pictures, you know, AI and stupid shit, right? So, you know, all of a sudden, I get invited to this group, which is this one here. Final Battle, Indigenous to Earth, right? And it starts off with this right here. Listen to this idiot, right? And I've seen this video before, so I didn't care. But I posted something on it. Collar Copper Debunked, Crane Americana by Samuel Morton, yada, 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 right? So it says, you know, the copper-colored page. Now, follow me here, okay? For the sake of us actually here today, I'm going to play this video. So then, and I guess it's 2 minutes. I'm not gonna listen to all that. Just briefly, in case I've never showed it, in case you guys never saw me show this shit. So, you know, they're going by, again. Oh my God, Doug. Oh. Really? You're gonna use a fucking coin? Anyway, all right, so let me see. Before I truly get started, let me see what else. Let's see. All right, so let's go. All right, so we got some stuff to cover, some books to read, and some shit to debunk, man. Because quite frankly, I mean, I don't know, bro. This is what I call it. That's what I mean by that, okay? So we're gonna be what? The truth about being a what? A who? A where? Say it. That right there, bro.
Oh, that's gonna hurt!
We're gonna debunk this shit, because this is stupid. But, like, you know, I'll give him 45 seconds of fame.
Why every single nationality in America try to make me feel down about my race and say we got no culture because they want your land? You know every single country's in on this big secret that you don't come from America? You know how powerful you really is? Man, this shit gets so sad and emotional when you think about it, bro, because you don't really know what they did to us, bro. You don't really know what they did to us. If we really came from these boats and these slaves, show us the pictures of the boats. No AI, no color books, no none of that, bro. Show me these pictures and show me these names. Show my people this proof. We need the proof. We haven't seen no proof yet, but I do have pictures of people coming over here to take over this land. And if you want to debate about it, we could debate. I have multiple pictures of your people coming over here to take over our land.
So, again, I wish they really had the fucking werewolves to do that shit here. But they don't. You know, and then that's whatever, neither here or there. You become an adult and you realize, you know, stupid is what stupid does, right? So I reference Samuel Morton, page 68, regarding copper color. Okay? Let me see if I can magnify this. You guys can see here clearly. Unlike them, they try to say it's blurry. I mean, I don't think it's blurry. I think it's clear. It says on page 68, for the sake of the topic, a copper-colored skin has been assumed by most writers as a characteristic distinction of the Americans, meaning the indigenous gente, us, you know what I mean? Who have hence been called the copper-colored race. You know, in that when they do italicize, it's almost like quote-unquote in a sense. The investigation of Dr. McCullough, by the way, this is printed in 1838, okay? The investigation of Dr. McCullough satisfactorily proves that this designation, okay? So these guys are going around saying copper color this, copper color that, you know? That's what they go around saying. But here we see of actual doctors, people of, you know, that were printing things at this year. That doesn't mean that that's when they were fucking born. So we're looking at people that were born in 17 and change, writing stuff about this in 1830 something. You get what I'm saying? So they're saying that this copper color fucking concept, right? Hence be called copper colored race. This investigation of Dr. McCullough, because he investigated these things, right? He didn't just sit in the fucking room and listen to Calloway, that fucking gorilla-looking dude, or some other guy that claims to be native, but he's like totally fucking gringo. You know what I mean? It's like, what the hell? Never went to no other country, never left their fucking city for that matter, don't know no other language, more likely doesn't even read. But here we go. Dr. McCullough satisfactorily proved that this designation is wholly unapplicable, meaning in whole, as it computes to the indigenous people of the Americas.
Oh, that's gotta hurt!
So here we see that wholly inapplicable to the Americans as a race. The indigenous people of the Americas, or what they label this land to be called, because that's not the name, as a raza. And that is more than, hold on, here's where it slaps you back in the fucking face. Woolly-haired man who claims to be native of this land as a race, and that it is more characteristic of some other and very remote nation. Now, it doesn't just say, hey, you know, copper color doesn't belong here. It also doesn't say that copper color doesn't exist, does it? No, it doesn't say that. It basically says, if you want to use the copper color theory, then that shit applies to other people. It does not apply wholly to the people of this continent. Then he continues, it says, the error has obviously arisen from the habitual use among the tribes of red paint to a brownish skin, which occasions a copper hue or coppery hue. Do you understand now? He says, hey, they use things to enhance their skin tone. This is why he said that the copper color race technically applies to some other very remote nation. Do you understand what this is saying? All right. Now, Humboldt declares that the denomination of copper-colored men could never have originated in the equinoctial regions of to designate the Americans. And I can further testify that among the individuals of many different tribes that have come under my observation, I have never seen a copper-colored man. We consider, therefore, that the color of the American Indian in general is brown, differing in intensity with various tribes according to the various localities. But that it is almost impossible to say that the brown color principally resembles. Even then, he's like, yo, I would like to tell you that generally, I could say they're mostly brown. But then even that's fucking difficult to then determine. Why does he say that? Why does he say that? Let's continue. It says here, but that is almost impossible. It says the cinnamon, hold on, differentiating in intensity with various tribes according to the various localities, but it is almost impossible to say that the brown color principally resembles. He goes, the cinnamon is, in my apprehension, like he says, the cinnamon is, but you know, with some, still not completely what I'm trying to express, okay? The nearest approach to it, though still too inaccurate for general comparisons. I fully coincide in opinion with Dr. McCullough and believe with him that no epithet derivable from the color of a skin so correctly designates the Americans collectively as that of a brown race. Although the Americans does possess a pervading and characteristic complexion, there are an occasional and very remarkable deviations, including all tints from a decided white to an unequivocally black skin. So you see how he's like, no. As a conjunction of people, like as a group of people, you can't call them copper color, bro. What the fuck are you talking about? Now he says, hey, look, people from another race, another fucking nation, very remote, like in Africa, you know what I'm saying? Like over there, right?
Oh, that's gotta hurt!
Yeah, that can say that applies to them. But the people here in this continent, you can't say that because they come from a variety of skin tones. I have proof of that in my own family. And I come from a family like that. You get what I'm saying? So now, that's just one point. That's just where it even gets, it gets started. Okay? So then I somehow get told this message here, right here. All of this right here. He replies to me with some shit like, they mislabeled blah, 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 blah. Okay, so since it's very small, here, I don't want to share other people's stuff because, you know, it ain't like they're proving something here to you guys. Hold on. I'm trying to get back to the page, all right? Give me a second. Give me a moment, and it will come right back. Where are you? More view, replies. I didn't lose it, dude. No way, dude. No, I'm kidding. Hold on a second. 16 replies. Okay, here we go. 13 replies. This is crazy. I'm trying to look for it, fam. I mean, here, look. I'll show you what they did. Okay. So they sent me a message, and I copied it. I copied it here. All right. So you guys can see what I'm talking about. So I copied it here. All right. So they sent me a message, and it's to me, and it says this stuff right here. Okay. Hopefully you guys can see what it's actually saying. All right. So we're gonna just kind of tackle that. All right, and hold on. Let me see if I can get this page up because I think it's important to catch it. I don't want to miss the beat. Give me a second. Fletcher, don't tell me you erased my post, dude. Give me a moment, family. Just forgive me for this. I didn't mean to close the other page. 4 replies. Okay, what the hell? Okay, here we go. I think I got it. I can't believe did they take it off? All right, it's all good. I got the copies here. Maybe they did. I don't know. You know, it's kind of tricky with these people, man. When you start debunking them. Anyways, so the first thing that they replied, right, was this. They mislabeled dark Indians as colored and Negro. Okay? So that's what he's saying. That supposedly, here, I don't know if you guys can see it. Can you see it? Oh, man. Let me see. Hope you guys can see that. All right? It says here, I'm going to cover all this right here. All right? So it says here that they mislabeled dark Indians as colored and Negro. Everyone knows this. Not all had straight, thin hair. First of all, who the fuck is everyone? You know what I'm saying? Like, who is everyone? And not all have straight, thin hair. Some were called the color of Ethiopians. I'm glad he brought that up. Because I'm glad he brought that up because I'm going to show you that page. You know what I'm saying? How did the Europeans describe the Native Americans? The natives, the so-called savages, these native so-called savages, they are in general strong, agile, supple people and blackish bodies. When did he say that? Cesar John Lubelos quotes, their hair is generally black, sometimes long and curling, sometimes short and curly wool. Source is this guy here, supposedly. Right? Printed 1849. So I go, hey, you know what? I got an idea. Why don't I show you what it actually says? I think it only makes sense. So he said that page 65. So I started posting the pages. So I went to one of the pages here. Give me a second. This is a sketch. This is the buried head. This is the other page. Here, I'll show you this right here. So you don't even waste time. I might as well just show you other books. Because I think it's going to make more sense. And forgive me, family, man. I'm coming back from a cold from a long while ago. So, you know, I'm trying to get back into my rhythm here. So the first book that he mentioned was William Stackley, The History of the Travels, okay? So he said that this was the book that we should be looking at. All right? He said this was the book that we should be looking at. He says that's the source of what he's talking about. I mean, unless I'm wrong. Unless I don't understand what this kid is saying. Right? He confirms it here. Supposedly. All of this came from page 65. So I'm like, okay, well, here's the book right here. You know what I'm saying? So I go, let's go to page 65. So I get the book, and I go to page 65. And page 65, and look, here's the interesting part. The book that he references, does that woman look like she's from Africa?
Oh, that's gotta hurt!
I mean, if you guys want to believe that shit, I don't know, bro. So, but will it go to page 65? And fam, nowhere in page 65, unless I have the completely incorrect book, it doesn't say anything like that. It doesn't mention anything of that sort. It mentions copper, but like not skin stuff. This is page 65. There's absolutely nothing of it on page 65. So then he says too, quote, they are not all like the straight-haired Indians of Mexico. Many have curled or woolly heads, which makes them resemble mulattoes. So he says, Bernard Romans, A Conscious Natural History, East and West Florida, 1775. I'm like, okay, man, let's go get that book. So I go and see if I can actually find this book. So here we have here, for some reason it pulled up here. Here we have the book. Okay? A Conscious Natural History of East and West. All right? What are we looking at here? Okay? We see it? It should be volume 1, because that's what he referenced. So I go to the book, and I'm like, okay, let's check it out. You said what again? Mississippi? Bernard Romans? Page 70 to 71. Okay? Page 70 to 71. So you know me, I read. I don't mind. I'll look for it. I'll take my time. 70 to 71. And he said something about that they're all not like straight-haired Indians of Mexico. Many have curly or woolly heads, which makes them resemble mulattoes. Mulattoes. Anyways, so then I go to the pages, page 70. And 71. You know what's funny about this fucking thing, bro? You know what's so funny about this whole thing? Because they obviously don't read. And for whatever reason, these people are degrading. Like who's writing this stuff? It's basically saying, strong liquor makes a sad havoc among these, as among all other nations of the savages of the north. Excuse me. Everybody knows that the natives up north suffer a lot of alcoholism. That's why it's preferable for them not to drink alcohol at all. I've never heard that shit from you. That's more like, what's that called? Fentanyl, crack, all that kind of other stuff. Maybe heroin, but not liquor like that. Not at all. Now, that's one point, okay? So they're making them seem like they're fucking like disgusting alcoholics. Second part. They're strong, wit of foot, and their exercise at home is chiefly their ball play, a very elaborate diversion. They are horridly given to sodomy. What the fuck? This is what these guys are referencing. A book that's calling our people sodomites? What the hell are we talking about, man? What the hell are we talking about? The funny part is we're not going to see this at all in these two pages. That's the sad part. That we're not even going to see any of that in these two pages. But do you see this? This is what you referenced? Did you read the book? I mean, I could understand if you give me a book to read and I'm like, okay, cool, I'll read it. If you really believe this shit, then I'll read it. But still not proving a damn thing. Matter of fact, it's embarrassing the shit out of you. You saying you agree with this sodomy? Committing crime, that crime even in the dead bodies of their enemies? Oh my God. Thereby, as they say, degrading them into women. So they're like Ted Bundy's, but gay and like for real. Like, because Ted Bundy would have sex with his after he murdered, he would sleep with the dead bodies, right? That's what it's saying. The opposite side here. Like, are you serious? Anyways, let me continue for the sake of time. Because I don't want to be here that long. I got about another hour and a half and I'm out. I got some stuff to do today. Let's see. I just wanted to kind of get going on this again, get warmed up for tomorrow. So now, as we continue, it says, they and all other savages have the greatest share of patience, yada, yada, yada. Yeah, you look, you guys can see the book. It's right there. You continue reading. They bury their dead. Tired of the business. People who may be particular custom. Then he mentions they're a Choctaw, more commonly known by the name of Flatheads. Of the Flatheads, basically saying the Choctaw have flat heads. Y'all don't have flat heads, man. You know what I'm saying? What are you talking about? That's another point. But let's continue. And you look through this. So I'm like, bro, what book are you reading? What? As a matter of fact, if you're going to reference it, you should put the link up. That would be ideal. So then we go on and says 3, Alabama. Okay. Some of them nearly as black as Negroes and having the hair coiled as the Negroes, though they are Indians by their tongue and custom. It's funny because here you're saying that they relabeled you, but yet they're still haven't relabeled these guys? But you look just like them? Really? So then it's Benjamin Hawkins, a sketch of the Creek County year 1798, society, reprinted, right? Let me get the book. I think it's this one. Hold on, because I got a bunch of them. Give me a second. What is it called again? Benjamin Huck's Sketches of the Creek. I think it's this one. There you go. I keep popping up in here, man. All right, so then this page, then he says, for the sake of time, he says, some of them nearly as black as Negroes and having the hair coiled as Negroes, though they are Indians by their tongue. He says, this is on page 27. Now, let me see if I can get this stuff. It's called Creek Confederacy. No, that's not it. Hold on. Yeah, Sketches of the Creek Confederacy. Sketches of the Creek County by Colonel Benjamin Hawkins. Yep, Benjamin Hawkins. Okay, hold on a second. Maybe, hold on. Let me, matter of fact, I'll give you that. Let me see if I can find this. If I got it wrong, let me pull it up now. Shit, why not? Let's find out. Give me the results. Sketches, volume what? 1948. Creek County, combination sketch. No, that's older? Okay, let me try this one. No, that's way younger. Let me go back. Let me try this one. $1848. No, that's not it. You know, the funny part, you know what, the funny part, fam, and you know me, I'm honest with when I make a mistake. I may have actually pulled down the wrong volume, right? I may have actually pulled down the wrong volume. So I'm willing to say, hey, I got the wrong volume. But you know what, the thing is this, that part 3, volume 3, part 1. Okay, so I think this is one of them, right? I think this is one of them. Hold on. So I might have gotten the wrong volume. And you know, here's the funny part, that I posted these pictures up for them to see. And yeah, volume 3. Okay, so I guess this is the right one. So let's see. Let's get it. It says page 27. So let's go. Let's find out and see what this is all about. Hopefully this is the right one. Is it? I mean, do I have the right one or not? Because it says here, it should be. Creek Confederacy and sketches of, Creek County. Sketches of Creek County, year 1798 to 1799, 1754 through 1816. So it should be within this piece. All right, we're going to check on page 27. Let's see, hold on. Boom. Creek Confederacy. Remember, keep in mind, too, the years that we're dealing with, okay? 27. Okay, so here we go. If this is the book, because the other one, it looks like it might have not been, but even it's within its volumes, I believe. And I posted these pictures to these people. Hey, at least can you correct me, right? I'm always like that. I'll listen if you can prove me wrong. But here's the funny part. As I'm scanning through here talking to you guys, I don't see none of that. I don't see none of those statements in here. Now, I could be wrong because this may not be the volume. I'll take you to page 27 to see, to show you. Because I didn't find a damn thing. Now, the interesting part is that when I posted these things to them, I didn't get a response. I didn't get a correction like, hey, you have the wrong book. Here's the right book. Here's what it says. I didn't even get that. No, this is actually it. Is it? Yeah, it's the same thing. I have the right one. So far, I'm like, wait a minute, hold on a second, dude. So this is not even right. Then you go here. And I've done many classes on Florida. And you go off and say, among them are many with thick and curled hair like that Negro, yet they are not of this country and not from Africa. Now he goes and references Garcilaso de la Vega, Florida, right? And it says here, so he references that. Doesn't necessarily give you a page. Spanish Chronicles of the Entrada of Hernan Cortés, which I do have a book regarding exactly that. And some of you guys who watch this channel often would understand that that's the book where we talked about Estebancico, or Esteban, right? Garcilaso documented southern eastern tribes before mass African slavery reached the U.S. Hear that? Now he says here, confirmation, blah, 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 blah. The hair forms varied widely among southeastern people, from straight to tightly curled, woolly, which surpassed early observers. He gives me this book here. Now, I'll tell you, I'll be honest, that one is not available online. You have to purchase that shit. So then this is the referencing that he goes. And because of that, this is because of that. Okay? So you can see that none of the books that he shared with me, especially these, I know I'm not wrong on this one. I know I'm not wrong on these first two. Maybe the questionable one is the third one. But even we went through it twice, 2 different sources, 2 different links, 3 different times, checking 3 different PDFs, and we still confirm back to page 27. It doesn't say any of that. Now, then he goes off and says Florida, mentions Garcilaso. Then he also talks about Hernan de Soto Cortés. Here's where I find it so interesting. Let me see if I can get the book. Is this one? No, it's not that one. Conscious History, Creek, American. Oh, I know where. Give me a second. Hold on. Where the hell are you, dude? Miles Hernan. This one here. Check this out, family. I've shared this book with you before. And the nerve of them to reference it, as a matter of fact. You know, that's the most interesting part. The nerve of them to reference it and not necessarily read it. We've gone through this book a few times. As a matter of fact, all be revealed. What's up? Bro, to have you here, bro. Good to have you. We talked about this shit. The one with Esteban, right? It's not new. The history of Hernan de Soto and Florida, or Florida. Record of the events of the 56 years, 1512 to 1568. Now, what I'm going to do is, so then we can move quickly through this book, I'm going to point out some things. We're going to go to page 1. We're going to go from back to front. Okay? Back to front. Page what? 564. All right? 564. Go all the way back. Oh, wait. Let me just show you the book so we can see in its completeness. History of Hernan de Soto in Florida, or the record of the events of the 56 years from 1512 to 1568 by Bernard Shipp, 1888. Okay? Pretty good book, to be honest with you. Now, here's where it gets very, very interesting. And I always go back to this whole concept of like, family, it's like us living together, like in the same continent, right? You know what I'm saying? Like the same one here. And me saying to, let's say, a couple of my neighbors that are pretty much like where I'm from, you know, we look alike, and I say we're not the same people. No. You see, that type of Mexican is not my type of Mexican. You know what I'm saying? Even though they look just like me. Or like, bro, y'all look raza. What are you talking about? You know? So anyways, here on this book, it mentions certain things. This is in 1512, family. Remember, 1492, that's not too long ago from that time. You get what I'm saying? We're talking about 20 fucking years after that point. So and remember who came to the Americas with these people? Right. They didn't just come in 1619. That whole fucking critical race theory, that's total bullshit. I'm going to call it for what it is. 1619 did not, that's not where your story began. That's why you guys have no idea where the fuck your story started. Somebody's telling you, FBA or those other dumbasses that are trying to make money from you guys, they're telling you a bunch of dumb stupidity. Instead of you finding out exactly that, you may have a true heritage, not here. And that's okay. That's totally fine. I just don't understand how empty-headed you guys can actually be when the material is right in front of you. Don't let idiots fool you. Read the books, not the page or a word that Colomiados fucking altered because AI made you happy. It says, these Negroes were twice so well received that they would not return a third time and abandon the port of Captain Gourget, who, however, very soon afterwards left there and still coasting Africa, came and landed in Cape Verde. Didn't he just say that? And he started off, by the way, saying what? He said, they mislabeled dark Indians as colored and Negroes. And everyone knows this. But yet at the same time, he's also saying, what? What are we talking about? Among them are many with thick and curled hair like the Negroes, yet they are of this country and not of Africa. Well, then how come these guys didn't get labeled if you said many of them? And what I mean, I don't understand. I see people in Africa, and I look at people here, and you guys look just alike. Several of you guys have mixed with the Anglos. It's documented, but you still look like them. Okay, let's continue because this even gets more interesting as you dig deeper into this particular book. And I'm going to skip. Let me see how back I can go. Here, let's go to page 3. Go to page 369. Because look. Okay, so explain this to me because you guys also we got them calling themselves what? Moors, right? Don't they call themselves Moors? They also call themselves Moors, if I'm not mistaken. Last time I checked. Okay, so if we go to page 69, can you please get there? That'd be nice. Okay, here we go. Page 69, and this is where it gets even more interesting. All right? It says, what happened to the troops in the wilderness? Let's find out exactly what happened to the troops in the wilderness. Exactly what happened. Let me read. The day that the Spaniards, by the way, the Spaniards weren't only just white skin, by the way, family. Because we know documentation, I'm going to show you that they were already bringing people from Africa up to Spain. Magallanes, who's Portuguese, was Duarte. And he didn't like black folks. So what the fuck are we talking about? Right? Let's continue. The day that the Spaniards left Chovala, they missed 3 slaves, of whom 2 were Negroes and the other a Moor. Okay, so are you a Negro? Are you a Moor? Are you Indian? Are you copper colored? But then we go back to Samuel Morton in Crania Americana, printed 1838, page 68. He says clearly that, hey, that whole thing doesn't apply to this continent of this people, the people of this continent. What I do believe is that applies more to people that are from another continent, very far from here. And he says, but no one was as astonished to the conduct of the Hold on, no, sorry, I skipped all that. The love of women rather than any bad treatment had caused them to flee and live among the Indians. I'm sorry, man. But even this day, I don't see you guys fleeing to go get your women. Now, let me ask you something. If these Negroes and Moors mixed with the natives, and you look like these people, do you think those natives were still those people? Wait, I don't get it. So these Negro dudes and these Moor dudes loved those native women so much, who were so delighted to have them, that they could never recover them wherever haste they made for the purpose. As the Negroes loved their masters and passed for good Christians. Let's not forget, he told us to go to Hernán de Soto. Because Hernán de Soto apparently saw people here that looked like them. So then, as the Negroes loved their masters and passed for good Christians, they were surprised at their crime, but no one was astonished as the conduct of the Moor, who was crafty and wicked. So let me get this straight. Please make me understand. Can you help me understand? These Negro men and Moor men leave the Spaniards to be with these native women that look like the same women in Africa? For real? You know that, I mean, once you start really reading, right? You start like, okay. So what exactly are you trying to say? What are we doing here? You know, what exactly are we? You tell us to go to this book. For what? What exactly are we going to learn from this book that we don't already know? Let me get you an important page here. We're just getting started. Let me see. Let me go here. 41, 46. Let's see. I read soldiers. All right. No, it's not even relevant at this point. Okay. Well, I mean, matter of fact, let's go there real quick. Why don't we just go there? Because, you know, it's pretty silly, man. And just real quick, no big deal. A lot of you guys always talk about pictures and, you know, comments and shit like that. But then we're like asking you, where the fuck is your diet? We don't know about you guys eating any of these things that we do, that we perfected, that we're so good at making. What are you talking about? And that's another thing that these people saw among these natives. You know, which somehow I just kind of wonder, do you guys not care to read? Like, is this a complicated thing? It says here, in the large house, it's 128, page 128, each family has several rooms. One served as a sleeping room, another as a kitchen, and a third for the purpose of grinding wheat or corn. Corn. Now, you think, oh, no big deal. Okay, sounds good. Let's continue. Page 127. It says on the bottom, continuing with the particular types of foods, it says here, on reaching the Sierra Mogollon, the Spaniards lost several of their companions from the severe privation and difficulties of the route. During this march, the army crossed many rivers which flow into the Californian's Gulf, and on the banks of which they found numerous Indian tribes who cultivated maize, kidney beans, pumpkins, and melons of such an enormous size that a man could scarcely be whatever. So when the fuck did you guys cultivate maize? And if you did, well, how come you don't do it this day? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Really? Okay, let's continue. Just going back real quick. Let's see. Hold on a second. Let me go through some of these. No, that's going to take too long to look for. me see. What else is this? Man, I don't have my glasses, family. My bad. I have to look. This is funny. Yeah. Okay, hold on. I'm almost getting to that page. Give me one more. One more. Let's see. It's still the same thing. Here it goes. Page 87. Let's see. Remember, these say you gotta read Hernán Cortés was the one that referenced. Okay, sounds good. I'll go read it. I don't have a problem reading. So here's where he uses this particular part. And on page 82, okay? And we're talking about Florida, remember that, okay? We can start here. They go entirely naked, except that about the loins they wear skins of small animals like martens, fastened by a girdle of plated glass, to which they tie all around the body to the tails of other animals, hanging down to the knees. All other parts of the body and head are naked. It says some were garlands similar to the bird's feathers. The following paragraph says, so here's where you're right. Some of them are dark skinned, but hold on a second. Remember what he said. Dark skinned Ethiopians, woollied, right? Okay. The complexion of these people is black, but not much different from that of Ethiopians. The complexion. Do you understand what that means? The skin tone. Complexion. That's it. It didn't say, hey, they look like Ethiopians. If that was the case, they wouldn't have to say all this. Their hair is black and thick. Okay. Not surprised. There's people that have long hair that have thick hair. Not surprised. And not very long. It is worn tied back upon the head in the form of a little tail. When did it say woolly? Curly? Anywhere? No, it didn't. In person, they're of good proportion, of middle stature, a little above our own, broad across the breast, strong in the arms, and well formed in the legs. Other parts of the body, the only exception of their good looks is that they have broad faces. So they find these people, not bad looking. How many images did we see? Are you guys reading? Is this part of the requirement in your groupies? Those cults that you guys join that make you believe fucking bullshit? And it says, look, check it out. It broad faces, so they seem to be good looking or have. It says not only exception to their good looks is. Oh, hold on, let me go back. Sorry. Arms are strong and well formed in the legs and other parts of the body. The only exception to their good looks is that they have broad faces, but not all. However, as we saw many that have sharp ones with large black eyes and fixed expressions. They're not very strong in the body, but acute in the mind, active, swift of foot, as far as we could judge by observation. Not muscular. Nah, not at all. You know what I'm saying? Not at all. I don't see none of this stuff. What do you want me to do? Want me to make something up to make it feel better? Because we're reading facts? Is this where it goes now, where people get emotionally disturbed? No, what page are we in? Okay, hold on. 1 or 2. Oh, okay, I got you. Here goes. Page 87. Let's go to page 87. We're almost done with this one. Here it goes right here. I want you guys to pay attention to this, okay? We're going to read this. And page 87. Okay, here we go. By imitating their signs, we inspire them in some measure with confidence, so that they came near enough for us near enough for us to toss them some little bells and glasses and many toys, which they took and looked at laughing, and then came on board without fear. Among them were two kings more beautiful in form and stature than can possibly be described. Remember, keep in mind, family, that this is a time where it was very anti-what? Who was gaining power? Who was gaining power? The light-skinned people, correct? They were gaining power. And they were looking at these other nations like horrific people. If you look at history, based on how history looked at them, that's why you see this Anglo-Saxon fucking nationalist attitude. Before, it wasn't necessarily about race. But eventually, they started noticing that it was about race. See, this is what some people don't want to comprehend. If you look at the pseudoscience that they bring up, some of this stuff is real. So Ivan Sertima writes down in his little Golden Age of the Moors, I think page 337 if I'm not 336 if I'm not mistaken, and he's talking about how these dark-skinned people, right, Arabs, North Africans, right, they looked at the white folks like they were fucking like nada, way. They were like basura, like whack shit. So let's pay attention to how they're writing about these people that they're noticing. By imitating their signs, we inspired them in some measure with confidence that they would come near enough for us to toss them some little bells and glasses and many toys, which they took and looked at laughing, and then came on board without fear. Among them were two kings more beautiful in form and stature than can possibly describe. One was about 40 years old, the other about 24. The eldest had a deer skin around his body, artificially brought in damask figure. His head was without covering. His hair was tied back in various knots. You see that? He had straight hair tied in knots. Around his neck, he wore a large chain ornament with many stones of different colors. Biblical in a way. The young man was similar in general appearance. This is the finest looking tribe and the handsomest in their costume that we have found in our voyage. They exceed in size, and they are of a very fair... Oh, hold on. Whoa, shit. They exceed us in size, and they are of a very fair complexion. Very fair. Some of them incline more to a white. And others to a tawny color. Somebody said earlier, what's tawny? I mean, I don't even know why you're fucking asking, bro. Like, sometimes I even wonder if you guys even really care. Does it even, I mean, seriously, bro. Look, I'll show you guys. That's tawny, bro. Orangey, olive type, brownish light, you know, maybe kind of reddish, not gray. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, come on, man. They exceed in size, and they are of a very fair complexion. Some of them incline more to a white. Now, you said earlier, those that post said, well, you know, they were mislabeled as Negroes and all these other people because of their complexion. But what do you? Not only did we read a book in 1838 that confirms copper color doesn't apply to us, we're going back to Hernandez Soto, who they said, go back to Hernandez Soto and read about the fucking guy. You know, I'm like, okay, I'm reading about the guy. then all of a sudden, no, what are we finding out? That it doesn't even apply. Like Samuel Morton basically confirmed it. Yo, that copper color shit don't apply to us, man. It's like we come with a variety of colors, and this is one prime example. We come in a variety of colors. Tawny color, all kinds of colors. But, maybe don't tell them that. You know, I don't get it, bro. What up, bro? Good to have you. Man, what's the name of that little black elf that would steal kids? Oh, Suarte Pete. It's Suarte Pete, bro. Suarte Pete. That's his name. And that's really it, bro. That's a true story. One of the sister that she every now and then she chimes in the channel. She was one of the first ones to follow. She's from Aruba, and she was telling me what that story was. I was like, shit, yeah, you bet. She would tell this. She said she grew up with her parents telling her, "Que te portes bien. You better be a good daughter, or else Suarte Pete's gonna come and steal you and take you back to Spain and shit." Now, let's continue. So it says they're inclined to white, others a tawny color. Their faces are sharp, their hair long, black. Upon the adoring of which they bestow great pains. Now, but mind you, remember, I keep saying light skin, dark skin, we're a variety of color. I never said we're fucking blonde, right? Thank you. Their eyes are black and sharp, their expression mild and pleasant, greatly resemble the antique. Other parts of their bodies are in all good proportion, and such are belong to the well-formed men. Their women are of the same form and beauty, very graceful, of fine countenances, and pleasing appearance in manners and modesty. Chiwiwi, you gonna tell me that for real? You gonna tell me? I mean, all I hear about you guys is complaining of your women. Doesn't seem like these guys are talking about women that are complaining. So then we go to, let's see what last part. All right, so now let's cover some of this stuff. Because, you know, some people they just easily get offended, man. And it's kind of, to be honest, it's kind of sad. Because you know what? You guys wanted this. Yeah, you guys wanted this. You guys came in, you guys said, we are supposedly these other people from this other fucking continent. We don't belong here. Yada, yada, yada. You guys said all that shit. That's what you guys said. So then we're like, okay, if that's who we are, then we need to find out. And people like myself have the fucking huevos to do that. I don't care if I am some fucking other people. If we are, oh well, so be it. We can't change that shit. You get what I'm saying? We can't change that crap. But here's the most worstest, disgusting fucking part of this whole thing. That now that you have gente like me showing you fucking racist piece of shits, okay, who we are, debunking your fucking bullshit, what do? What do? You turn around and you create some other scapegoat, some other narrative, instead of just confronting this information and saying, you know what, maybe those guys have been lying to me. So maybe I need to do this. This is the South Carolina Historical Magazine, July 1975, volume 76, number 3. We're going to go to this particular section here. free black owners of slaves. Let that sink in. That's why when I say critical race theory is a lie, I'm not saying that because I'm some fucking white racist or nationalist or whatever the fuck or whatever. No, fam. I tackle history. And history has been telling me that that's a fucking lie. Because your history didn't start in 1619. And that's the concept of critical race theory. Okay? That's the concept of critical race theory. That all of a sudden, prior to 1619, you guys were never here. Only 20 of you guys were here. Now you have wobbles with stupidity. Now well, that couldn't be because, then how come? Exactly. You guys were already working with Spaniards. You get what I'm saying? You all were working with Spaniards already. And this is what makes it even worse. That you guys don't even want to pick up your own fucking books and find out exactly, hey man, did we really have a lot to do with slavery? Yeah, you did. And not like in a sense where it happened to you completely, fully, wholly to you. No, technically slavery as a whole is inapplicable to you because as a whole, it didn't happen to you. As a matter of fact, there were several of y'all that were free. Free to do wherever the fuck you wanted. Page 129 on the bottom says, where did these free blacks come from? Some had never been slaves. Excuse me? Yeah, let's read that again. Where did these free blacks come from? Some had never been slaves. FBA, are you saying they're not part of the movement? I mean, they never suffered. They had been indentured servants. Excuse me? Indentured servitude through head rights program would give you authority to say, for example, I have a slave. I now can use this slave as collateral, apply for acreage through the head rights program. So then this slave can work the lands because through the head right program and through the slave, I can basically use as collateral saying he's going to work the land. So through a head right program, for every slave that I had, I'd get about 50 acres, sometimes even more, depending on what the connections were. It says some had purchased their freedoms, others were born of free parents, while some were born free by miscegenation. Yeah, that's why a lot of you guys look like that. A lot of you guys are actually white. Like, for example, Bob Marley, his whole line, they totally think that they're, quote unquote, African Americans, quote unquote. But nah, that whole bloodline, bro. If you come from Bob Marley and you're a boy, you're a white guy. You're just a white guy with good woolly hair and a tan. That's it. Others, let's say, and then it says here, others were born of free parents, some were born of miscegenation. Slaves were also emancipated from meritorious military duty, for faithful service by the last will, yada, yada, yada. Check this out. It says here, check this. Free blacks became slave owners early in our history. Indeed, one of their first legal known sections of slavery, other than as punishment for crime, involved a black owner. In 1654, Anthony Johnson and his wife, in a court suit, gained the service of their black servant, John Casor, for life. So now, follow what's going on here. Prior to 1654, most people came through an indentured servitude program. You understand? A contract, for the most part. All right? We did not have that opportunity. They did. Okay? White and black folks, they did. You understand me? And at this time, Sephardic Jews were self-proclaimed. These guys were also enslaving these people, but under indentured servitude. Now, they were selling us left and right. I'm telling you, family, this shit goes deep. But it said here, like in 1654, right? You can see that this Anthony man, he's black and he owns slaves, but he happened to have this own slave owner. He happened to own this slave. Sues him. He sues him. And this is the first case where an indentured servant contract became perpetual servitude.
That's gonna hurt!
So do you understand now what nation of people moved the line? What nation of people changed the line between indentured servitude to perpetual slavery? It wasn't a white guy. It was a black woman and a black man that sent another black man to court because they didn't agree that his contract was done. So then what happened? Because of that, now you got perpetual slavery, fuckface. How come you guys don't talk about this? You're too caught up in being a racist piece of shit, stealing the history of other people, while at the same time causing erasure, and you're not seeing this. Actually, slave owning by free Negroes, hold on, let me say this real clearly. Slave owning by free Negroes was so common in that period of the Commonwealth as to pass unnoticed and without criticism by those who consciously recorded events of the time. Do you understand what that's saying? Does that register? Slave owning by free Negroes was so common. Slave owning by free Negroes was so common in the period of the Commonwealth as to pass unnoticed and without criticism by those who consciously recorded events of the time. It says here, number 6, referencing book Negroes Who Own Slaves, page 484 through 487, page 90 as well. Please get that book. I'm asking you, family. This is not this ammunition, whatever the fuck it is, but these are the fucking true facts that occurred here in Americas. Okay, when you think that only gringos enslaved our people and raped our women and hung us to trees and all, nah, bro, no, not at all, man. It says here, John H. Russell in his Free Negroes in Virginia, 1619 through 1865, wrote, the most remarkable property right possessed by free Negroes was the right to acquire, own, and alienate slaves. See this? The most remarkable property right possessed by the free Negroes was what? To own, purchase, and alienate slaves. Indeed, for more than 20 years, from the time when free Negroes first appeared in the courts, there were no legal restrictions upon their rights to own indentured white servants in Virginia. And see, this is what disgusts me about white folks as well. Especially those, not all white folks, but those that believe in white nationalism, like they're so fucking superior. They believe the critical race theory. It's funny, they're scared of the critical race theory, even though that's not real. But they don't want to admit that they were slaves too. They were being bought. No different. But oh, please don't do that. Don't come here with that bullshit. Black benevolent slavery first. But no. We don't want to hear that. That's total bullshit. And I'm gonna show you how. I'm gonna show you how it's total bullshit. American purchased family members and friends from white slavers to protect them from. Nah, man, that's total bullshit. You see, even then, you still have there's nothing registers. Even then, there's no registration in your process of thought. Like you're kind of thinking of it, but it's not like you're like enter. It's just passing you by. You're not like actually saving that shit and saying, wait, hold on a second. What am I saying exactly? Fuck no, I'm going to prove it right now. The most remarkable property right possessed by free Negroes was the right to acquire, own, and alienate slaves. Indeed, Indeed, for more than 20 years, from the time when free Negroes first appeared in the courts, there was no legal restriction. Okay, wow, let me skip that. There were black slave holders in Boston as early as 1727. You see this? You see this shit? There were black slave holders in Boston as early as 1727. In Connecticut, in 1787. Now, keep in mind as what we're reading. Boston is up north. Connecticut is up north, okay? We're going to read another book pretty soon that's going to be like, oh, shit. Boom. Dagger. Let me see if I have it over there. Already locked and ready. I thought I uploaded it already. Give me a moment. Hold on, let me see. Is this one? Yeah, I think it is. Oh, yeah. Next one. Check it out. Before we go to the next one, let me finish this. There were black slave holders in Boston in 1727, in Connecticut 1783, in Alabama by 1797. Among the earliest records in the deeds book of St. Augustine, Florida. Remember, we were going to the Hernandez Soto about that, right? It is a document recorded the sale of a black slave to a free black. By a free black. Hold on. Woo.
A ver, que alguien me explique.
Who are you?
Gotcha, bitch.
Hold on. So let me get this straight. It's like the brother said. Who in the hell says my family's going to be slaves so they don't have to be a slave? What the fuck are you talking about? You sound really retarded right now. For real. That's what I'm saying. So you bought them from them being slaves because you would be a better slave master? But here's the funny part. Yo, here's the funny part. He's admitting that he was a slave master. They have been misled by their own dad. You know, that's the sad shit right there. That is actually the fucked up part. That Marcus Smith, I believe. The fucked up part is that you have been misled by people in your own community. Because if you were really native, like for real, man, I don't think none of us would have a problem, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not like an envy. No, man. It's like if you are, you are. If you're not, you're not. Historically speaking, you're not. Did you guys mix with our people? Yeah, shit, we still do it. But to say that we were somehow made up, you're giving credence to these people that have misled you as well. They always try to take someone's, forget about that. It's not, look, being misled and then at the same time asking you guys for fucking money. Every single channel that talks about, Aboriginals this, Aboriginals that, make sure you subscribe to Substack, follow me on this and, hit the like and send me money and donations are welcome and thank you. And they don't work. They live off of you guys believing this shit instead of you listening to your own history and looking back and like, whoa, did this really happen to us or were we really doing this shit? Because now when you see your own history, you're going to start looking at things way fucking different. Then it says here, let's see, hold on. By 1790, 48 Maryland black owners possessed, no, hold on, let me go back to this one. In a document recording, the sale of a black slave to a free black by a free black. You see that? These two free black folks sold each other a black person. Nate Butler, a free black who lived near Aberdeen in Harford County, owned a small farm and regularly purchased and sold Negroes for the Southern trade. A free black person. Some considered black slave owners hard task masters and claimed free black owners were, as usual, a thing much more severe on their slaves than the white owners. American Negro slavery. I'm going to show you this book here real quick. So do you think benevolent slavery was real? Not enough to justify it. Like to where it's such a big deal. Man, let me tell you this about people. And we live it in our society right now. For example, we got people deporting our people that look like our people. For the sake of fucking money. For the sake of money, we got people, our people, deporting our people, and they look like our people. I mean, I cannot wrap my mind, but I can't wrap my mind around it because I'm not materialistic. Ain't no fucking money in the world gonna ever make me do that shit to our gente. The only conclusion is money. What money brings, the power that it brings. When I feel power over you. There's no such thing as benevolence, because you want to know what would have been done, right? Marcus, buy the fucking freedom of that person and don't have to enslave the child. Because, and I would say, yeah, you're right. Maybe some people were benevolent, but man, come on, let's be honest. How many people were doing that? I can't say, no possible. Nah, bro, nothing's 100%. But really? We can't. Wait, I thought I uploaded that thing. Hold on a second, family. What the hell, bro? Mm-hmm. Hold on, let me see if I can forward it. Maybe I didn't forward it. Well, here it goes. Now let me show you another page. Well, that's the thing. This is not just about him. Anthony Johnson, he was one of many. I mean, that's unfortunate. And, that's the thing I've been teaching. See, I'm not trying to say that, no, there's no way that so-called certain people cannot be natives. I can't say that shit because we fucking mix with each other at one point or another. What I'm trying to make sure that we understand is who you guys are, who we are, and who the Anglos are, and who the so-called self-proclaimed Sephardic Jews are, and who the Arabs are, and who the fucking Asians are, and who the Hindus are, because all those people were around here those times, believe it or not. They've been here. They've all had access to purchasing. The people that weren't being able to buy shit was the natives here. But trust and believe, money will drive anybody to make you a slave. And that's the sad fucking part. That's the saddest part. I don't get no privilege out of seeing people on the bottom. It doesn't make me feel good. I don't feel better. Like, oh yeah, look at, I don't get nothing out of that, bro. I don't get nothing out of that. I'm not saying anybody here in particular, but if you feel good about seeing people in slavery and you think, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't feel better about it. That shit's whack. You kidding me, bro? You got children in slavery. What do you mean? Yeah, nah, bro, I don't believe in that. So now we're going to go to page 434. 434, so you can actually understand what I'm talking about here. It says here, and this is why it's important. See, I'll say this right now. For you guys that are maybe new to my channel, I was born in Mexico, in Jalisco, Guadalajara. I came here, 7 years old, all paid, whatever, all that stuff, right? I'm a U.S. citizen, yada, 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 all that shit. Been here a long time now. I think you can tell. So, but we've always known that people like us could take advantage of us too. But you see, growing up in certain areas, you kind of know who's really and who's not. See, when we see people down there, we know those guys are fucking Spaniards, bro. Like those, they move like that. But we come from that experience. So believing this stuff, that somebody like that could do that to us, yeah. This happened among you guys. And instead of trying to rob the history of another culture and causing erasure because the white man's already been doing that shit for centuries, thanks to the Sephardic self-proclaimed Jews and shit and their funding behind it since 1492. All we need is another group to say, no, bro, y'all just feeding the animal. This is on page 34. Slave holding by colored townmen were likewise fairly frequent. I got a book in 1830. I'll show you. I'm glad you referenced that year, 1830. I'm going to show you a book too. Slave holding by colored. Now, since you're watching and posting, do me a favor, Marcus. Pay attention to what I'm reading. Pay attention to what I'm reading and let me know. Don't run from this about this concept of benevolence. No, watch this. I'm going to show you. Slaveholding by colored townsmen were likewise fairly frequent. Among the 360 colored taxpayers in Charleston in 1860, listen, 1860, for example, 130, including 9 persons described as of Indian descent, were listed as possessing 390 slaves. So out of all of these people, only about 9 of them who were so-called natives had slaves, right? Look what it says. The abundance of such holdings at New Orleans is evidenced by the multiplicity of application from colored proprietors for authority to manumit slaves, with exception from the legal requirement that the new freedmen must leave the state. Watch, it says, a striking example, such petition was that presented in 1832, roughly around the same time you said, by Mary Louise Batule, free woman of color, which recited that in the preceding years, she bought her daughter and grandchild at a cost of $700. You see? You see? So I'm not running from no, that never happened. You see one case here. She bought her daughter, granddaughter. She bought her daughter, granddaughter. Okay? That a lawyer had now told her that in the view of her lack of free relatives to inherit her property, in the case of death intestate, her slaves would revert to the state. That she had become alarmed at this prospect. Do you understand this right here? So let's go back so you can follow what we're reading, or else you're gonna lose what you're reading. So we hear about this woman of color, Mary Louise, which recited that in the preceding year she had bought her daughter and a grandchild at a cost of $700. Okay. Then a lawyer explains to her that a lawyer had now told her that in the view of her lack of free relatives, see, so she didn't have free relatives around her. She bought these children that are related to her in some way. We don't know how exactly. Like how she became her daughter and granddaughter, like through who, where's the father, right? You get what I'm saying? Okay. But she didn't have free relatives outside of her. So she might have been free, but people that were related to her, she had no one else that she was like the only free person that she might have been of her so-called family. Now she has a daughter and a granddaughter. Once she purchases them, that lawyer now tells her that in the view of her lack of free relatives to inherit her property, in case of death intestate, her slaves would revert to the state. So that means that, what she has will go to who? The slaves, correct? That she had become alarmed at this prospect, and she accordingly begged permission to manumit them without having to leave Louisiana, okay? So now, the magistrate gave her consent on condition that the petitioner furnish a bond of $500 to ensure the support and education of the grandson until he's become of age. So it's like the boy had to keep this property. This was duly done and the formalities compelled. Now, here's where it gets even more interesting. Evidence of slaveholding by colored freemen occurs also in the bill of sale filed in various public archives. One of these records that of a citizen of Charleston sold in 1828 a man slave to a latter free colored sister at the price of $1, provided he is kindly treated and is never sold, he being an unfortunate individual and requiring much attention. In the same city, a free colored man bought a slave sailor maker for $200. Sail maker. It's not benevolence. Fucking dude knows how to make ships. That's an investment. At Savannah in 1818, Richard Richardson sold a slave woman and a child for $800 to Alex Hunter, guardian of the colored freeman Louis Moreau, in trust for him. See, so now this guy sold free woman, or sold a slave woman and a child. Richard was a black dude. Alex Hunter, another black man. Guardian of the colored freedmen, Louis Morrell, in trust for him. And in 1833, Anthony, Ordingo, free colored, having obtained through his guardian an order of court, sold a slave woman to the highest bidder for $385.
Who are you?
That's not benevolence. Now check this out. This is when it gets even deep. This is when it gets even deep. Page 436. Now let's really see how they truly feel. The free colored population, native of Louisiana, meaning those that live in Louisiana, right? That live in there for quite some time, own slaves, and they are dearly attached to their native land. And they are ready to shed their blood for her defense. They have no sympathy for abolitionism, meaning they were not interested in abolishing slavery. No love for the North, for they have plenty for Louisiana. They will fight for her in 1861 as they fought in 1814 and 1815. If they had made no demonstration, it is because they have no right to meddle with politics, but not because they are not well pleased. All they ask is to have a chance, and they will be worthy sons of Louisiana. You see this right here? Now, it continues. Why? Oral testimony gathered by the President Winter from old residents in various quarters of the South support the suggestion of this letter that many of the well-to-do colored freedmen tended to prize their distinctive position so strongly as to deplore any prospect of a general emancipation for fear it would submerge them in the great black mass.
Who are you?
Gotcha, bitch.
How long are we going to continue to deny? If this was my history, I would not be denying this shit. I would be investigating. Like, bro, did we really do this shit? Really? Like, have they been lying to me that long? Really? Like, I'd be like, dude, do I deserve to be lied to like that? Really? Let's continue with the session. Let me get it over here real quick. Let's continue with this because I'm going to show you some stuff. We'll go, since you're new, I'll show you. This is from, let me see. I read this before, but for you guys that are watching new, this is Africa's in the Americas, 1500 to 1540. Hold on, let me see. Do I have the book? Hold on. It's called The African Americans by Many Rivers Crossed. Give me a second. Let's see. I want to see if I can. Yeah. Okay. Let me see if I can take. I thought I took a picture of this already. How much time we got? Okay, we're almost through. Let me share this. Hold on a second. Let me put it here. Yeah. All right, check this out. Let me show you this page. Then we'll go to that one. Okay. It says here, how can one measure all that was lost in the systemic destruction or dislocation of the civilization of the peoples whom we know today as Native Americans? How can one fully take the toll in human suffering and in irrecoverable losses to the world civilization resulting from the 4 centuries of obliteration of the Native American peoples, beginning with the conquest of the Taínos on the islands of Hispaniola and the Arawak and the Caribs of the Greater and Lesser Antilles, beginning in the late 15th early 16th century, extending to the denomination and subjugation of great Inca and Aztec civilizations in the 16th century, and culminating in the dreadful trails of tears in the decades of 1830. Okay, so he's talking about like our suffering was fucking real. And, it's not really mentioned at all. However, it says, I'm going to skip all that so we can get to the point. Restoring the role that persons of African descent have played in the creation of the saga of the Western civilization has been the motivation of our creation of the African Americans documentary series and the writings of this book. The repopulating of the Western Hemisphere through a series of voluntary and involuntary migrations over the past 500 years was never a one-sided process, and it was never solely a European experience. It may come as a surprise to many Americans to learn that African people played an essential part in this process. From the very beginning, according to one source, from the very beginning. Then it says, according to one source, Alonso Prieto, the pilot of Columbus ship in the Niña 1492, was a mulatto, a person of mixed black and white ancestry.
Who are you?
Critical race theory is a lie. Your stories did not start in 1619. In 1502, the great Italian explorer was accompanied by a black cabin boy named Diego. The year of Columbus returned from the final voyage of the Americas in 1504. You see this right here? In 1508, Ponce de Leon, usually remembered for his exploration of Florida in search of the legendary king of Ethiopia, they never found, Preston John, and his fabled fountain of youth, took armed black men with him to conquer Puerto Rico.
Who are you?
Diego Velázquez from 1511 to 1512 employed other Africans to help seize Cuba. In fact, Velázquez advised King Ferdinand that many black slaves had assisted him in the conquest of the islands.
Made by claiming.
Hold on a second. That's what I see, bro.
Gotcha, bitch.
Ultimately, by 1867, according to the Transatlantic Slave Trade Database, approximately 12.5 million Africans had been sold into the New World slavery. You know the story on that one. So now let's search further, because apparently, like this has to be mentioned. So now, following this page, right? As we continue, now that you know, natives, all of this stuff. Europeans, right? Anglo, light skin, they didn't just do it themselves. Y'all helped them. You guys helped them. Marcus, your people helped the Europeans. That's the sad part. What happened? Let's see. Ricardo Ignacio shadow banned me for calling blacks out for their racist view. Yeah, well, Ricky Ricardo, bro, I called his little ass out. He's too scared to even say anything. That's what he is. You know what I'm saying? Like, he goes and attacks light-skinned people that are considered, that they claim to be indigenous, but he never attacks them. Black-skinned people that claim to be indigenous. Either he's weak, scared, or he's sliding into one of them. That's what it is. Let's continue. If not all the first explorers and conquerors of New Spain were European, It is equally important and surprising to many of us, because he's black, to note that not all of the first Africans who assisted the Spanish and Portuguese came as slaves. Nah, not at all. Some untold number of free people of African descent, black conquistadors, born in Africa or on the Iberian Peninsula, also accompanied Spanish conquistadors, such as Hernán Cortés and Ponce de León. Now, keep in mind, black conquistadors, Ponce de León, Hernán Cortés, Hernán de Soto, Christopher Columbus. What did they all have in common? What did Christopher Columbus do? Wasn't all these conquistadors kidnapping 9, 10-year-old girls and raping them? Africans helped them. It wasn't just the white man that did this shit. Africans also did this shit. So when you have culture vulturing, erasure like this kind of stuff, acting as if motherfuckers that did this shit didn't do this shit. No. See, this is where now you really pushed it. Two of the famed explorers of the vast region that would become modern Mexico and the western and southern regions of the United States. And as we might expect, their exploits were just as heroic and just as problematic. Why? You can't use that as scapegoat anymore. See, here's the irony of this whole thing. The white man don't want to admit the fact that the black man helped him. And the black man don't want to admit the fact that they did help him, because then both of your stories are kaputs. One can't ask for reparations, and the other one can't claim to be all fucking intellect. They civilize everybody.
Wait a minute. Who are you?
That's why. Because but far more Africans came with the Spanish and the Portuguese as slaves, servants with various degrees of freedom, and attendants and armed adventurer. You see this? Yeah, and your people had every part to do with it. Now you're not even admitting it. See, this is where it gets really fucking ignorant now. Like I've given you the so-called respect just for a moment that maybe, just maybe, you may have some fucking sense. Now you're saying some other shit. So now you're like running from it. Now like, oh, well, it wasn't us, it was them. What the fuck? What do you mean? No. We just read a bunch of books that you guys were enslaving people. What, did the slave practice just happen out of nowhere? No, you guys been doing this shit forever. Did several of your people get enslaved through that bullshit? Yeah, of course, collateral damage, because you don't give a fuck about people. Or else you wouldn't do this shit. While the number of African explorers is impossible to determine, they participated in some way in virtually all of the Spanish expeditions in the New World. In the 16th century, these black conquistadors set an example for the subsequent racial relations throughout the entire Spanish colonial experience, living their daily lives with the degrees of complexity that rarely would be achieved by black men and women in the early English settlements in the Caribbean and North America. Indeed, wherever Spain set its flag of conquest in the Americas, Africans helped hold the pennant. See this shit right here? Black conquistadors, Juan Bardelas, Juan Garcia, and Juan Beltran are but a few of the better known people of African descent who helped transform the Western Hemisphere. Family, I would advise you to read a book called Dogs of Conquest. I would really, really advise you to read a book called Dogs of Conquest. In the Dogs of Conquest, you find out about the atrocities and shit. And see, this is, when I get deep into this stuff, people that watch this channel or they're new or subscribed, This is not a fucking Candyland channel. You know, this is not a Candyland channel. You're gonna find out exactly what heritage is, what history is about, and it's gonna fucking burn you. It's gonna burn you because facts matter. People can hide from the history all they want, but when it's presented to you now you have to deal with it. You don't want to go there, man. I'll fucking debunk your shit when it comes to the Bible. The Iberian Peninsula was named after the Iberia. That's a bullshit story. Oh my God, dude. Oh fuck. This is even getting more interesting. Matter of fact, do yourself a favor, Marcus. Don't post shit no more, because you're not listening. You're not listening. Don't post shit no more. Do yourself a favor, because apparently you're not an adult. You still are like a fucking child and shit. Read Shlomo Sands, The Invention of the Jews. He debunks your shit, and he also debunks Khazari as well. So he put both of you guys in place. Not at all. And here's even the most fucking interesting part about this bullshit. Because here, matter of fact, I'll show you. Here's how stupid you are, Marcus. Here's how stupid you are, okay? You want to run to Deuteronomy 28, right? You claim you're those people. Like, Ireland, name Iberia. Okay, sounds good. The Bible said otherwise. The Bible said in Deuteronomy 28:36, it talked about this real quick. It said, the Lord shall bring thee and thy kings which thou shalt set over thee unto a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known. Not done yet. Verse 64, because you love that shit. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all nations from one end of the earth even unto another, and there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known. Hold on, verse 49. Let me go back to that again. It says, and the Lord shall bring a nation against you from far, from the end of the earth, as swift of the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. You wouldn't know their religion. You wouldn't know their language. You wouldn't know anything about them, nor would your fathers. But you just said, oh, no, Iberian Peninsula, we ruled that nation. We named that nation. We were Irish. Are you fucking kidding me? The Bible says you would not know them at all. At all. At all. It's like you guys debunk your own shit right off the bat, right off the grill. You debunk your own right off the grill. You can't be the other and the other. Scripturally speaking, Deuteronomy said you would not know them. You would not know English, Spanish, Dutch, French, German, Portuguese. I don't know the other ones. You're just admitting right now, well, we're up in Ireland. Tell you what, this is fucking crazy. This is so crazy. And you know what's even worse? We show people like you this shit here. And it's like you don't even fucking register. Forget about the black one. You were a conquistador. You come from conquistadors. You see that? You come from slavers. You come from slavers, Marcus. My points are half-assed, but you're here listening, making dumbass comments, acting at first like a fool. We show you a bunch of shit, even your own people enslaving people like you. All of a sudden, now that shit is forgetful. Now you don't understand. Now all of a sudden, my points are half-assed. Now all of a sudden, my points are half-assed. So you're saying now that everything that I shared, so Negros never had slaves and shit? It's always the white man that basically enslaved y'all. Is that what it is? Is that what it is? Is that what it is? Nah, bro, you can't run from this fucking history. This is who you guys are. This is who you guys are. This is from the Maya conquistadors. The Maya conquistador, Matthew Restal, writes about this stuff too. Not only that, you guys were helping these people. You guys were helping these people. It says here, let's see. For there were many black padres, 21, that came with the Spaniards, and not one of them knew our language here. Only one of them did, but that padre who entered did not teach. For at that time, there were no elders, really just boys. They traded in the other kahab. Moreover, they wished to say little. The black padres, those black ones, they hated us. Page 162. But these oppressive clergymen get really angry at us while forcing us to work in their homes. So if you're the so-called Hebrews, why the fuck are you teaching natives Christianity? And in order for you to be a padre, that means you went through school for a long time before you were teaching the Christian compendium. For those black men, it says here, but these oppressive clergymen get really angry at us while forcing us to work in their homes, doing whatever they tell us to do. For those black men, you see that? Black conquistadors, black buck-breaking slavers, black padres have their own homes and servants and their own horses and rabbits. Further, as we have settled in the Ardakaha, we are providing them with food and household goods. They have neither paid a thing, nor do we ask them to, for they are ashamed of us and afraid of us too. Although they are the Ka guardians and are given the responsibility and are asked to go to each Ka. And as they are not paid by the bishop's Ka, the burden of it is given to us, but there is no salary. So now we give them much food, and they do not pay us. So here it goes. Skip it. Let me go back. May you, the governor, Don Luis Cespedo de Oviedo, see that we do not have many things, for we are always being robbed. This is the very reason why there is discord with the bishop that is here in this province, and discord with all the black padres. See that? I just remember something. Gravios? Ah, man. There was a book called, was it by Gibson? Let me see. Just the name's coming up. Hold on a second, family. The writer's last name is Gibson. Hold on. Just came to my mind. Something Gibson. Gibson. Did I save this? I didn't. Shoot. Hold on. Let me see. Give me a second. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, so I remember this book called The Aztecs Under Spanish Rule. Let me see if I can find it. The Aztecs. Nah, I didn't save it. But I have it here. Hold on. Maybe if I can find it real quick. Hold on. I think it's right here. Hold on. Spanish, almost maintain a conquest. There's a section where it talks about how the problem that the natives had wasn't necessarily when they lived. Spaniards were neighbors to them. It wasn't necessarily the Spaniards that were causing the issues. It was the agravios, I think. Agravios, I think that's what it's called, I think. Agravios. My bad. Let me see if it's here. Yep, this is it right here. Hold on, let me show you this. So you guys can see. The Aztecs under Spanish rule, okay? Go back to the page. Aztecs under Spanish rule, page 229. It says here, apart from direct land alienation, certain secondary features of Spanish landholding seriously affected Indian welfare. The presence of a Spanish property near an Indian community commonly resulted in what were called offenses or agravios by Negro servants, usually robbery and forced entry into Indian houses. You can't get through these people, bro. There's no need for it. Jacob, you can't help them. They're helpless. It's just helpless. There's no need for it no more. It's just a waste of time. All we got to do is just keep, just show the proof, and that's it. That's it. They can cry all they want. They can fucking make excuses and then run to the Bible. Then they get debunked with that shit, and it's like, whatever. Oh, and then they'll say something about, You're obsessed. This is funny.
Who are you?
Listen, I got so many more things to cover. You guys are just a scrap of the shit. This is easy for me. Like bringing this shit up for me, this is easy. Like I've been slaying Canaanites for a while, and that's where you're probably from. You know what I mean? I don't know if anybody's told you, but more than likely, you are a Canaanite. The spirit that you move in specifically, yeah, you're just passive-aggressive. You're a passive-aggressive Canaanite. And it's just a matter of time before things start changing. And I'm sorry if I hurt people's feelings. I don't get a lot of views. It's all good. I don't need to. Hold on. There's no other channel that's been putting this down. And I don't favor no fucking, hell no. If you had something to do with the slavery of our people since 1492, you're going to hear me bring this shit up. You're going to bring this shit up. Other than that, family, thank you for watching, man. I'll see you guys soon. Hey, by the way, tomorrow, we're going to go through that. In case you guys don't know, I'm going to have Vega over here. We're going to cover a lot. It's going to be fire, man. I hope you guys can attend tomorrow, all right? Have a good night, fam. For sure. Hope you appreciate it.
En la Plaza de Reyes, Black 50, soplón. Yeah, ¿qué vas a saber?
¿Qué vas a saber tú? Oye, chibolito, faltóme. Pulpín de los pulpines, batería de Rapunzel, de rapeos, de raptos, de lagartos en cuartel. Cualquier la pega de cruel con un viejo coronel. Soy flojo, se me antojó dormirme en el laurel. Elevé mi level con un label y un Faber-Castell. Ya un papel, lo empape con sangre de todo aquel que se jura Nobel y no ve mis trenes en la riel. What's so man? ¿Por qué no sacan la tablet? Juro por mis abuelos que no te hablo por las powers. Soy chinchano neto, búscame por pico sour y te voy a meter al centro loco como Beckenbauer. Escúchame atento mi pro, que estamos rompiéndole en pro. El negro de Plaza de Reyes como siempre rompe de este micrófono. Que quiere meterle como yo pero no puede meterle taco pro. Si te pensaba que solo era un gallo, déjame decirle que se equivocó. Real motherfucker feeling on the street. Es el Black Sheep Metal de Plaza de Kings. Motherfucker, soplum.
Nero Luigi, man, desempeño a la victoria para que sepa. Incas Mo, Money Gang, yeah. Yo también he llorado, gente. También me han desplazado por mi rasgo afrodescendiente. Sí, un perro no habla pero siente. Cuento historias callejeras pa' barrios de delincuentes. Soy un perro que te ladra, que te muerde y que te huele, nene. Soy más que Lele, ustedes para mí son pelele. Con mi jauría todo el día en busca de los cheles. Tengo un perro en fiscalía que nos mueve los papeles y otro en la comisaría para evitar el susto. Muchas veces me han llevado por solo como luzco. Perdón, madre mía, si yo le causé un disgusto, pero en esta vía yo crecí rodeado de perros chuscos. Yo sé que me quieren ganar, yo sé que me quieren tumbar y no pasará porque soy de verdad. Está súper rafina la Dodo Style, metido en latina aprendiendo un Kizai. Yo tengo el style, no mido la raza del perro, yo mido por la lealtad y yo soy leal. La calle te enseña lo que no te enseña la universidad. Saliste ese peña aquí con una seña te tiran para atrás. La calle limeña aquí nadie la dueña, ya nada es igual. Tiene que respetar, tiene que respetar. La calle te enseña lo que no te enseña la universidad. Saliste ese peña aquí con una silla te tiran para atrás. La calle limeña aquí nada le duele, ya nada es igual. Tiene que respetar, si yo soy tu papá. Es Incas Mob, negro. Es Incas Mob, nigga. Nero Luigi, man. Incas Mob, It's Money Gang, yeah.
Hey, yo. Yango en la maldita casa. Me llaman pa' que les dé al menos una vez al mes. Se metieron al lago y olvidaron que era el mes. For everybody bless. La fama es una puta, me está llamando a las 3.
Dile que llame después de las 16 y 25. Volví de la infancia de Abraham Lincoln. Con fuerza ya inco, luchando para salir del rincón. Letra callejera en CD brinco. Under del under, puede que tu viejo te lo mande. Sale de vez en cuando como el cóndor por los Andes. Mi cuerpo no es de madera como Dandy. Antes que me branden, yo seré la ola que los expande. Aunque esto me pique en la madera, no sirven ni para romper el ticket de un evento afuera. Loco por la carrera, desafían la gravedad. Yo espero tras la barrera y llego con la novedad. Niña, tú solo espera
la manera. He visto bastante por querer lograrlo saltando escalones dentro de la escalera. La vida me puso al depósito, yo soy de púlpito para que el mundo conociéramos de esta parte mejor interprete que parido de esta cordillera sin luz afuera. Que el espectáculo es dentro, la calle es mi templo, tiembla el pavimento, cuando yo me concentro, mis disparos son temas, la calle un poema se siente desde cuando entro. Que a toditos estos drogaditos que creen que rapean los regreso al centro de mi balcón. Yo he visto el clon del clon en la misma gestión, pero a la malla no llega el balón, y para esta pantalla no soy tu patrón. Yo ya me sé la cuestión, y doy fe por cada renglón, consciente de la operación del final de Mbappé con la edad de bufón. De Young, la maldita casa, plaza de rey y papá, el Little Luigi, Black Cimental, hip hop peruano. Rasgo en la maldita base. Yo, yo, yo.
Across the block, Kahed, Belajah, where I get my chala. Who reporting live from the universe? It's the First Nations MC. You could do the search. Who been through the worst? Surviving genocide, fighting for a better life. They try to set aside the true history and keep us mystical. They say they founded this country on biblical principles. It's so cynical, but I'm an analyst. It's murderous. They refer to us as merciless. Indian savages. Now that's written in the Declaration of Independence. That's no kidding. Hey, open up your heart and let love lead the way. Light your path with the words that I speak today. Let the lessons flow, arrive and bless your soul. Systematic racism alive, intentional. Know better, do better, it's the motto. It's the good medicine, the hard pill to swallow. Know better, do better, it's the motto. It's the good medicine, the hard pill to swallow.
His daily life was filled with ceremony, and every act had some significance. The Indians believed in the spiritual, the mysterious.
Y Cal, hijo, abre los ojos. Tu cuerpo se queda con nosotros, pero tu espíritu debe seguir. Busca la luz. Aléjate de las sombras. Deja que nuestro dolor sea tu fuerza. Desde aquí iluminamos tu camino. lucha como nosotros ante esta pena tan grande. Yo soy tú, tú eres yo. La muerte que hoy nos separa, mañana volverá a unirnos. Eres libre, hijo.